thank you to the MFA for hosting, to Roxbury International Film Festival for being a partner, and for Morris Chestnut for coming here to Boston to speak with us. Just a couple of things I wanted to share briefly. One, I'm an 80s baby, so I've never seen Boyz N in the theater. I've seen it many times, but never in the theater, and so selfishly, that was really the reason I wanted this to happen. To see it in the movie theater. Also have lots of respect for Mr. John Singleton, studied some of his films in high school, and just thought that with his passing, it made sense for us to honor him, particularly showing this film because though it is, I think, over 25 years old, it's still very timely. A lot of the issues for folks who haven't seen it, a lot of the stuff that being talked about is things that are being talked about now, and Furious Styles drops a lot of gems that I couldn't understand when I was younger, so I'm excited to see it through a different lens. When I began discussions with the MFA about hosting it, it was prior to the heartbreaking incident that happened here with the students from Helen Davis Leadership Academy. And so I've had a lot of conversations with myself and others over the last couple of weeks about my involvement. One of the probably most profound, I guess, or memorable things someone asked me is, how are we showing Boyz N when actual young people from Boston may not feel welcome in this space? And so I don't know how I answer. I actually don't think I answered it because I didn't feel like it was my question to answer. But I am obviously here and still committed to making sure that this space is accessible to everyone. So we know that this is a Boston issue, not just the MFA issue, but luckily the MFA has the opportunity to be a leader now and show how an institution can respond to issues like this and really do the hard work to make sure that people feel like they're welcome here. So I want to say personally thank you to all of you all because I know for the ones of people that I know personally in the audience who struggle with thinking about coming. And so thank you for still making that decision to be here. Lastly, hopefully with my organization, Collier Connection, Rocks Film, and other conveners, we will continue to be partners, but we know that our partnership comes with accountability, and we will be here to make sure that the leadership and others here continue this. I know something that's really important to me, not just related to the MFA, but films like this, is that people honor not just Black culture, but Black people. And so hopefully this is one step in that direction where we're actually celebrating the experiences of Black people.
Thank you, Sheena.
So we'll get started. So I'll introduce Lisa Simmons, who is the director of the Roxbury International Film Festival. She's going to lead a conversation with an up-and-coming actor, Morris Chestnut, who you all may not know yet, but you'll know after this discussion.
Now, we've been trying to get Morris Chestnut in the house for quite some time, and now we're here, so this is wonderful. So I just want to talk a little bit about Boyz N, and then talk a little bit about your career as well, and then we're going to open it up for the audience to make sure that people get a chance to talk. But I wanted to start with your involvement with Boyz and how you got involved from being a finance major at Cal State, and then auditioning for this. So can you talk a little bit about that?
Right. So basically, I was going to college pursuing a finance degree, but I was also pursuing acting at the same time. And I got called to audition for this movie, Boyz N. And at the time, as an actor, there was a lot of. I wasn't working a lot in the industry at that time because most of the roles were going to quote unquote drug dealer gang, whatever. And but I went in, I met with the casting director. She told me to come back. Met with John Singleton. So, you get the first call and then you get the call back to meet with the director. Then when I came in, John, he was basically my age.
Right.
So we just immediately clicked, and then I came back and I got the role.
And so your role as Ricky was not the gangster type of role, and that's really what sort of drew you to it. And I would love to hear you talk a little bit about why that was such a pivotal role, not just for Boyz N the Hood, but for you as well.
Right. It was a pivotal role for me in my career because it's obviously it really it got me I got worldwide recognition because of that role. But what that character represented in the film, and it was a lot of, I can really relate to some of that stuff that was going on in my own family, not to that degree, but exactly what was going on in South Central at the time, which made it so special. Like you said, like they mentioned earlier, there were so many things that happened in that film that are still prevalent today, which is shocking.
Right, exactly. And so you had the character as an athlete.
Yes.
And so for John Singleton, I think we all know, he was such a pivotal filmmaker, but a pivotal storyteller in the way that he shared what the Black urban experience really was, and the truth behind that. Because you're right, everything that was sort of coming up during that time was all about sort of gangsters not looking at the holistic view of Black America and what it was like in Black urban America. So
Even at that time, yeah. So John was when you really look back at that film, he was a true visionary, because he was really, even at that time as a young man just coming out of film school, he was really just putting the pieces together. And when you look at the amount, he had a keen eye for talent. The fact that, a lot of the people that were in that movie are still working today and doing well. You had, Regina King being nominated, Nia Long still working, Fishburne, Angela Bassett, Cuba. So John was a true visionary, just looking back of how he was putting everything together. It was very impressive.
And I wanted to ask you about that, because it's true, all of those people, this is almost 30 years, and everyone has sort of been working consistently.
Yeah.
In really great roles over the course of that time. And I wanted to ask you, was there something in the way that John Singleton directed? Was it something in the way that he asked you as actors for things that you have carried with you during your whole career that has caused all this sustainability?
The one thing that, I'm not sure if anyone here has ever met John, but the one thing that you got from John, John was such a giving person. He was selfless, and he really wanted to see, not even just for his film, but he really wanted to see everybody prosper and everybody to win. So even when he would give notes, when he would talk to us, even after we had done the film and we had we were just going on to other jobs, he would still talk to us about different opportunities. And there are so many young writers and up-and-coming directors that John gave a lot of opportunities to, that, we're in front of the camera so people see us, but there are other people that he gave opportunities to. That's just the type of person he was. He was selfless, he was giving, and it really, the set takes the tone of the director and sometimes the lead actor. And so him just doing that, he created a safe place for us to work, a comfortable place for us to work. And we literally did it like right in the hood.
Wow. And he sort of set the bar for you going forward, and what you expected and what you wanted out of any role that you were playing and what you did.
Oh, most definitely.
So you don't survive in this business 30 years without having people that have your back and people that are supporting you and helping you. So can you talk a little bit about who those people are? I don't know if they're Nia Long and Angela Bassett and people that you were with when you were making Boyz N the Hood, or are there other people that help keep you grounded and help move you forward?
For me, honestly, it was my parents. Just learning from them. I've always wanted to stay true, to who they were and the values that they instilled in me. Even so, it was one thing is so as an actor, everyone is in California, they try acting at some point, and you try to. At some point, everybody does. I was born and raised, and so you're always trying to look for an edge. trying to look for, you know, what can I do? Can I change my hair? Can I change this, change that? That was back then, not now. But so I never forget that at one point, you know, so you come across actors. You think that's funny? That's my boy right there. That's my boy, yeah. So, you know, you're always looking for an edge. And so at one point, the whole thing became, okay, so as an actor, you have to have a unique name. And so people were saying, what they would do, I think it was, you know, you put your, you know, your first pet and your street name. You know, you try to think of all these names to change. And so I said, you know, and I thought about it because, you know, as an actor, you're really trying to do anything that you can. I thought about it at one point in time, but I said, you know what? You know, I wanted, if I were to become successful, I wanted my parents to be recognized, you know, for who I am. I don't want them to say, that's my son and my last name is, I don't know, Johnson or something. It's not. And so, so to answer your question, I've always been grounded, you know, by my father and my parents. And like you mentioned, Nia and all those other people. I have a lot of friends in the industry, a lot of associates, but it was, I just made an intentional choice to make the industry a part of my life and not my life. And I think that's been a big factor.
I think that's really important because those are the people around you. I read somewhere that you are really good friends with the friends that you have from like 2nd and 3rd grade.
100%. I still talk. I just take it right now. A friend of mine just hit me from 2nd grade, so I had a friend in 2nd grade, 3rd grade, and they're, you know, 2 of my closest friends. And my closest friends I've known decades. So
do you, actually that's me too. My best friends are friends that I've known since I was 4. So, you know, on that same vein, how important is it for you to mentor up and coming writers or directors or actors and really help work with them, sort of moving their way through the industry?
It's very important. And the thing about that, I should say, the challenge with that is, and there are a lot of young men in here, the thing about that is you have to be there when they're ready. Because a lot of times, especially me being in Hollywood, so when people come to LA, there's a lot of people come to LA, to the industry all over the world to become famous and to be known. To where that is their goal, is never to be a good actor, a great actor, a good singer, a great singer. They just want to be known. So what happens is they'll get to LA, and I see them all the time, and they come to me all the time, hey, you know, what kind of advice would you give me? And I say, well, you know, so what do you want to do? And they'll say, I want to be an actor. I say, well, the first thing I can tell you is to study your craft. Study your craft at what you do. Become really strong at what you do. And, you know, there's one gentleman in particular that, I'll never forget, he came, I was at the gym, was working out, he had just gotten to LA in like probably 2 months. And he said, you know, can you give me some advice? Can you help me? I said, listen, are you in an acting class? And so I said, get in an acting class and just study. Just study. He was like, yeah, you know, no, that's not me, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and because, you know, it's the stories that people hear. It's the stories that people hear that, you know, I was sitting in the cafe at 2 o'clock in the morning, this cashier came up, you know, and they put me out, exactly. So this is what I want to say. It doesn't happen like that, and if it does, and to all the young people out there, because, you know, we're in a generation of participation trophies, but, you know, so that's yeah, you know what I'm saying? So that's a big issue. But, so, anybody in LA, because one thing about acting, it doesn't happen for a doctor, it doesn't happen for an athlete. Everybody thinks that they can do it. Right. It looks so easy, right? When it's done well, everybody thinks that they can do it. So, by that same token, yes, anybody can get an acting job. Yes. Right? They'll give an acting job to a reality TV star, somebody who just got arrested, whatever. But that's true. But it's not about that. You don't want, and this goes across whatever you want to do. It's not about an acting job. It's not about a singing job. It's about an acting career, a singing career. So, you know, so just really focus and study on what you do, become strong at what you do. No one's ever going to ever be able to take that away from you, and your opportunities will continue. And I tell people all the time, I said, you know, get an acting class, because I've literally seen it. I've literally seen, you know, people come into the industry and they're trying to get work, and then they don't get work, and then they kind of fizzle out. And I've seen people come to try to get work, and they study. They may not get it the first year, the second year, but all of a sudden, the 6th year, the 7th year, they're getting a huge job, and now they have a career. That's why they always say it's like a 10-year overnight success, because people been there grinding. Just because you don't see it, you never know what people are doing in their home, you know? And a lot of people will make it. It's not about luck. It may be luck to get there, but it's not luck to stay there. So you gotta work.
I think that is perfect advice. I think that's very true, and I've always said to people too, and if you're an actor, you know, take acting classes, but also dance classes, also movement classes, ways in which can make you a holistic performer.
Speaking here, being in this museum right now, I mean, I'll never forget, I had an audition for Pascal, you know, and at that time, I didn't know much about him, and, you know, it really opened my eyes, and then when you start to learn, just being here in the museum, and you start to explore art and fine art, there's a refineness that comes to not only you as an individual, but your intellect. And that's something that even just being here, and I said it before, it inspires me. So that's why it's so good to see so many people of color, so many young people of color, keep coming to this facility, keep coming to this museum, because I promise you will be inspired beyond just what you see on Instagram.
YouTube stars and Insta stars and all of these people that, you know, that's a momentary thing, and like you have had a career in this in your career. So I'm curious, we're gonna move it really quickly because we want to open it up for questions to the audience, but I'm curious as to your take on this like shift in the world really wanting to grab onto Black content and voices, and you know, it feels like, you know, 30 years ago it was like Denzel Washington was the only like leading actor that was working, right? And now all of a sudden you've got Michael B. Jordan, and you know, you've got all these other Black actors and actresses that are working, and it's like in Boston, when the festival started, there was no one doing what we were doing, and now there's so much hunger for this content. Do you have any thoughts on what that shift is and how that's supporting and helping the industry and for Black actors and writers and directors?
So I talked about coming to the museum, right, and being here, being inspired through art. That actually has been prevalent for years. It's been taking the time to cross over into leading actors, because even when New Jack City came out, it had Ice-T. Boyz N the Hood came out, it had Ice Cube. And so for a long period of time, you know, a lot of my friends used to say, well, you know, you can't get an acting job because you gotta have an album. And that's because our culture in terms of music is global. You know, people knew Ice Cube, Tupac, Ice-T across the world. And even if you can go into a club in some of the the most non-Black areas in the country, and they'll be bumping whatever the latest hip-hop song is. Yeah, so that culture transcends now. Now it's just finally, it's gradually made its way. Like you said, it used to be, when I came into the industry, it was Denzel Washington, and back in the day before that, Sidney Poitier, you know, and then it was Wesley. So so it's definitely changed for the better.
Definitely better. So now you're on Enemy Within.
Yeah.
Is everyone? If yes, so here you are in this really like sort of somber character because your fiance's been murdered.
Right.
Oh my gosh. And we don't get to see this iconic smile of yours that we always love to see. Like,
Right.
yeah. How difficult has that been? We know how difficult it's been for us. Has it been for you to be Morris Chestnut and not?
Well, you know, so it actually was somewhat refreshing for me to do that, because I'd done a show that all I did was smile, called Rosewood. Right? So I did want an opportunity to go back to a character that was a little bit more conflicted, emotionally. And but it's funny that you say that because I mean I hear that more than anything. You know, that I don't smile at the character. I do hear that a lot. But yeah, so
Maybe next season they'll just be like something that makes you go, yeah.
On the next job.
So I want to open it up for questions from the audience because we only have a couple of minutes, and so right there.
Do you have a preference between series, television, film, or whether you're writing
Right.
or
So I'm open to either. I think the thing is in the arts you have to be open for change and be very versatile. You know, there have been people who they'll come to Hollywood and I say, well, listen, hey, you know, there may be a call for a commercial, a call for when I was coming up, it's called 5 lines and under 5, and they'll say, nah, I only want the lead parts, you know, or I only want to do film. So for me, I'm actually open to all of it. Both have their pros and cons. In terms of film you get much more time to work on your character because you'll do an hour and 30-minute movie that takes 3 months to film. When you watch a television show, we literally have 8 days to film 40 minutes. So it's rush. So sometimes I do like, because the one thing about a film, you sit in your trailer, you have to do an emotional scene, and you really want to get to it because it takes a while, it takes a lot out of you. But you're sitting in your trailer for 3 hours before you go out on the set. But with TV, as soon as you get to work, you're moving.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well, how are you?
My question is about the future for you and what you see for yourself as an actor. Where do you see yourself in 10 years as a human being? And then the follow-up to that is, how do you choose your roles? How do you decide this is what I want to do? And how does that connect you back to the community?
Come back to what?
Connect you back to the community.
Oh.
The roles that you choose.
So as an actor, as you know, what was your first question? Your first question?
I know, it was
I was
like
going to go on a
5.
tangent, so I just wanted to make sure I addressed your question.
So, okay, let's connect it all. So, in choosing your roles and the journey you had thus far, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And
Right.
how do you decide this is for me, this work is for me?
Right. So as an actor, it's unfortunately we don't always get to choose our roles, and sometimes the roles choose you. At the time that I got Boyz N the Hood, I wanted to work. I was reading for the gangbanger, I was reading for the drug dealer, I just wasn't getting cast. And so that's the thing. A lot of times, Hollywood chooses you. They decide when you work and when you don't work. That's why it's very important to be versatile. That's why it's very important to do a number of things and try to do a number of things well. Like you say, don't just take an acting class, take a dancing class, take a directing class, because you want to remain versatile. In terms of me, in 10 years, I would like to see myself behind the scenes, contributing as a producer. And I've done some things, and I have some things in the work, as we speak.
Which of your roles have taught you the most about manhood?
Good question.
Which of the roles have taught you the most about manhood?
Great question. And this is not a cop-out, it's a reality. All of them. And the reason why all of them is because manhood is a lifelong study. There have been certain things that I've learned from every single job, and I take that to be the man that I am today. So all of your experiences, no matter how small, there'll be a small experience that you may have that may not think it may affect you, but it can have a big effect on another experience 10 years down the line. So just as a young man, and I love the organization that you guys have, but just as a young man, really pay attention to your experience. And as an actor, what it's done for me is I'm always evaluating myself. I'm always evaluating my emotions. And who I am. I always say that I go to bed at night looking in the mirror, being honest with myself, and I wake up looking in the mirror, being honest with myself. Because I can lie to all of you guys right now, but I can't lie to myself when I go back to my house. It's really important to be very centered and very grounded with who you are as a young man, and that's going to make a difference to the man you're going to become.
maybe from school or like any groups that you had mentorship from? And if not, what do you think those groups would have done for you in your journey?
Right. So I grew up in. So I was born in South Central, and my mother, she wanted to get us out of South Central because of just whatever was going on in the hood. So I never was really affiliated with a group. I was fortunate to have my brother was there, or maybe not so fortunate, he should be my butt. But I've always drawn inspiration from other people as well, because I'll never forget many years ago, Charles Barkley came out, and I love Charles Barkley, he's great, but he said, I'm not a role model, I'm not there to raise your kids, right? However, especially in this day and age of society, we're all affected by outside anything. We're going to be taking on outside images, outside experiences. And so there are people that I looked up to. I looked up to Sidney Poitier, Harry Belafonte. You should look him up. He's not way before your time. But to say that, so I'm a huge proponent of great organizations like the one that you're in now. I wish I had access to one of those because I do miss having that brotherhood. I played sports when I was coming up. And so my teammates were my inspiration. And it's very important to learn the values of working as a team. You lose as a team, you win as a team, because it teaches you the importance of teamwork. It teaches you the importance of people depend on you depending upon other people. Sometimes they let you down, sometimes you let them down, but in the end, you have to come back and try to make it right. So that's a great organization that you guys have. In addition to, one thing about what I was just saying about knowing who you are, the whole, you guys are in a very challenging time with social media. I didn't have social media growing up. I'm always the person in the room that, I'm talking now because I'm being interviewed, but I don't talk much because I watch and I listen. And the thing with social media is you have to really understand who you are before you go onto social media. Because most of what you see is not true. It's elevated. You see people put their best moments on there. They'll have their best moment for 29 days. Their worst moment for 29 days, and they'll put their best moment on there. Then they'll go and do something. So don't try. I know it's easier said than done because it's so prevalent, but you have to really know who you are to follow social media, because just whatever they're projecting on there is not necessarily true.
I think that's a great point. We don't.
How did you prepare for the balcony scene on The Best Man?
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you say again.
I said, how did you prepare for the balcony scene on The Best Man?
Okay, we went for that one first. Yeah. So we'll address this one first, that one, and she wants to follow up on that. So what's your question?
Hi, my name is Zania. I'm with Origination Cultural Arts Center. One thing I wanted to ask you is I know that we talked about how Boys in the Hood is still relevant to society today, and one expectation for a black man is to be very hard. And one thing in the movie that I noticed is that it touched on vulnerability. And I would just ask, what would you say to these young black men who fight vulnerability and fight even an outreach or cry to help because of their pride?
That's a great question. So excellent question. So the one thing that I'm very particular about when I do speak, and I want to make this clear, I have not walked in everybody's shoes, right? So I think the one of the issues and one of the challenges for someone coming from Hollywood like me, coming here to speak to young people, is that they can always have an experience that I haven't related to. And so what I can relate to is going through life and being a human being. Because yeah, you guys may see me in movies or TV shows or whatever, but I've been rock bottom just like everybody else. So I've had negative experiences in my life that I've had to turn positive. I've had experiences in my life to where it's so challenging that I didn't think I was going to go through with it. I thought I was going to quit acting at one point. I thought I was going to quit acting at one point because it was tough. It was tough to get a job. But I told myself, listen, TV's going to be around. I'm just not going to give up. So I wanted to continue and go forward. However, I do have a support system when it comes to vulnerability. When it because it's okay for us to be vulnerable. The challenge is, and the issue is for all of us to be able to openly accept when someone wants to say, I'm feeling weak, I'm vulnerable, I have mental illness right now, I'm depressed. It's okay, help them seek help. Don't look down upon it, don't frown upon it, because it is an issue. I'm dealing with it now in my family, and I have a big family, but it is very prevalent. So what I would say to young men and young women, because it affects both genders, is that it's okay to not be okay. So just seek help if you're not, and your person who's sitting next to you, or a cousin, a friend, a best friend, let them know that it's okay. Okay, how do I prepare for the balcony scene? Well, so the best man was the best. Wow, that was a long time ago. I do remember. It was late at night, and we were shooting night scenes at that time. You know, that was so as an actor, one of the things is, so I'm a big proponent of therapy. And as an actor, I always get to explore my thoughts and emotions and who I am and what I'm dealing with, because I have to know every emotion that I'm feeling. I have to really pay attention to that, because at some point I need to convey it on screen. And I do remember that. I can't tell you what I was thinking at the time that I was going through that, but it was a very personal situation to me. One of those moments where I felt weak and I felt vulnerable that I had to bring back up, and that's true. So yeah, it was tough.
All right, unfortunately, we're gonna have to close down the Q&A and the conversation, but, so we had Best Man Holiday, Best Man Wedding is, right. Where is it? Where are we not waiting for this?
Yes, wait. So what I can say is that, what can I say? So I can say that, that there are conversations about moving a version of that along sometime in the very near future. I